Next, we're going to talk about the design. And design in this case is going to be slide decks, or we can say that this actually extends into any material that you're going to be giving. So this is going to be a mess, right? And there's a very good reason that this is going to be a mess. The 3 C's are color, consistency, and conciseness. If we look at this slide, it probably will give you a headache, right? And there's a very good reason that it's giving you a headache. It's very badly formed. The consistency of the fonts are non-existent. There's so many colors, and there's so much of text with the lorem ipsum that we can't really understand what's going on. And basically, you're not even listening to me. You're trying to read what's happening, and that's a distraction. So let's look at these 3 C's individually. So the first thing is color. When you're designing your material, I would suggest that you stick to 2 colors. Now, in most cases, like for this one, there's a template already created by your workplace that you'll have access to, which is already built in a way that is easy to use and the design is flexible. However, if you are making a presentation and you don't have a slide deck to work from or a template, then stick to 2 colors. If you're a graphic designer, sure, you have color theory, you understand a lot more about this stuff. You can go a little bit more wild, but to stay on the safe side, stick to 2 colors, and these 2 colors exclude black and white. So, with black and white, there'll be 4 colors. What you can do is use shades of a color. So if you have blue and yellow, use gold, use teal or navy, and that will help increase the color amount if you need. The next is consistency. Consistency is the types of fonts. You shouldn't go over more than 2, right? You'll have a heading font that you can use and then a body font. These 2 fonts can be different, and as long as it's consistently the same 2 fonts throughout your presentation. The next thing is your heading level sizes. So usually we'll have a heading 1, a heading 2, a heading 3, and they will be smaller and smaller. And then we'll have normal text or body text. Try to keep the sizes consistent because you can notice these things during a presentation. And the last thing is keep it concise, right? Brevity is key. The slides are just visual aids. They're not meant to be the presentation. You are the presentation. You are the presenter. You are the expert, not the slides. And that is why you should keep your sentences short, keywords. And if you need a little bit more, use a picture. Speaking of images, this slide is a headache. And if we look at it closely, we may have seen these types of images pop up during presentations in the past. So the first one on the far left is highly pixelated. This means that the image is actually too small and somebody has tried to enlarge it, stretch it out. And so now we see the little blocks of color that make up the image. So when you're looking for an image, try to stick to, we can call them HD or full HD pictures. If you want the pixel sizes, these will be 720 and 1080 pixels. That might help you to find pictures that are big enough for you to stretch a bit on your screen. The second picture just below that is a squished B. This means the aspect ratio is not correct. Aspect ratios are the width by the height, the ratio of the width by the height. So, for example, this B might have been 1:1, so a square. In its original life, but somebody has squished it so that maybe now it is 1:2, and that's obviously going to make it look quite abnormal and warped. So when you are picking images, if your image isn't the right shape, rather crop it than change it or squish it, we could say. The image on the right side, this is too complicated. You want your images to be able to tell a story that you can explain. in this case, you're going to sit there with, maybe if you have a laser pointer, you could go through it, step by step. But if I were to present something like that, I would break it up into each individual step and then present that at the end. In most cases, what I've seen is that this is presented at the beginning and everybody is confused. The other final thing that we need to think about with images is they say 1,000 words, right? So we want those 1,000 words to be the right words. Here we can see there's a real mismatch between what the image is trying to say and what we are saying. So there's a no swimming sign and we're saying, how can government combat poverty? These do not align. So your images need to be relevant, especially if you're picking up stock photos or icons, icons being the most important one. If you are looking for icons to add to your presentation, make sure those icons are relevant to the content.